April 3rd. Coming to you extra raspy
From the studio.
from your mom's box.
Live. Well, not live, but
Your mom's studio box.
sort of live.
We're working on the live part.
We'll be there soon.
But goddamn, this fucking saxophone got me in the mood. That stroking mood, baby. Stroke the pain away. We're funny but foul
We're back to you. Another week, Dan.
with my boy,
Another Saturday.
the dude, the guy that made it all happen, and then some. He did some photography, and then he came back with a mustache.
It never left, baby. It's always here.
That's why we call him Hector Senior.
It's always here.
You know what I'm saying? Look at that width.
The stash and the nose, that shit stays.
Where he lacks in muscle features, he's got the stash and the chin strap.
That's right.
All he needs is an accurate TL.
Got the
And he's
TLX.
Fijian for life,
I
baby.
got that TLX soon.
He needs a TLX with chrome wheels and all the accessories from Canadian Tire. Yes. Funny but foul, welcome. My guy. You know what I mean?
After spending what seemed like fucking
Hours.
And
Hours.
It actually might have been hours. to be
Hours.
honest.
Hours.
It might have been
Terrible.
honestly hours.
It was fucking nocturnal, and I felt like I couldn't breathe at one point. But you know what?
But we're still here.
We are here.
We are not queer.
We are not queer, but I'm gonna open you up.
No, that's
actually,
disgusting.
what are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing? It's fucking 9:30 on a Saturday. Why aren't we doing shots? That's the question.
Listen,
And the answer is my
these,
boy over here,
the,
Scott.
the answer is
Buffalo
these
face.
actually have mercury in them because they're Chinese, and possibly Corona.
That's what I really.
But
like.
you know what? Even if they do have Corona, you know what I'm not gonna do?
What?
I'm not gonna go assault a senior Asian citizen because I think it's their fault.
Here,
okay?
here.
That's what I don't do.
I'll cheers to that. You'll only go after them for the driving.
Only driving,
not
and
Corona.
that's on a singular basis.
Exactly. That's a case by case thing. Let's not.
'Cause
get it
I've
fucked-
met-
Let's not get it twisted.
I've met hot ass anime chicks that the father is rich as shit, and you know what? They've drifted my ass into the dumpster.
I believe
Okay,
that.
and it's not because I had a weaker car. At the time, I had a Beamer, but it's because they're just better. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's where it lies. So
So
today, April 3rd, 2021, we toast to the peace of the sovereignty nations around the world. All the nations that have nuclear weapons, this is to you. Use the nuclear weapons for electricity and stop fucking charging us these hydro bills.
brought to you by
Hashtag grow ups.
Armon for 2024.
2024 is, bro, my probation doesn't end till 2030.
Don't worry, man. You can't run on the truth. Oh. Sickening.
Sickening to my core. And then we came back again.
Chase up.
Chase that with my nutsack. Grab that natural from right there, bro.
What? Ugh. What is it? Fucking Pedialyte over here?
No, that's beautiful light.
Naked. I don't need that. Thank you.
Okay,
Thought of-
another cheers to our dead homies. You know what I'm saying? I just had a guy I had known for 5 years now, since 2016, called me 2 days ago.
What happened?
He just got granted probation. His
Fuck.
wife, he's Mexican,
How did you?
His wife-
Where'd you meet this guy?
out and about. You know what I'm saying? No details needed.
Okay. Next.
But what happened was, he just got out. He just got on probation for the next 2 years. And this guy he's a really good guy, man.
Okay.
All I could say is he's a really good guy. He's a father of two. He's got a really good girl. She always did visitations.
Yeah.
And man, I just hope him the best, man.
Yeah.
His name is Federico. I don't know his last name, but I know
Montero.
he was in
Sounds like a Montero.
He was in Unit 202. Shout out, man.
Shout out to Unit 202.
15 years out. After 15 years, I hope you the best. I hope your family the best. And a lot of cheers going on because we're just crazy sober. Should we keep that going?
Sure.
I like it. It puts me in the mood in the background. It might not even pick it up. It just puts me in the mood in the background.
It does pick it up, though, I think. Yeah, that's all that needed.
That's not that high, is it?
Kind of.
Because when we were doing the testing, it wasn't that high.
Yeah, it wasn't like super high.
You could barely hear it.
Well, I'm saying as good as an intro.
No. I lowered it from the intro. Intro was
Lowered a bit more.
just to be safe.
Yeah, just be safe.
Okay.
And then it's just still the same for us. We can just keep it for us because that's the red buttons for us.
Yeah.
We just keep it the whole time if you want.
What's new, man?
Fuck. Yeah, you did a little quick shout out there in the beginning.
What was that? What was that
session.
stutter?
Yeah, because I was trying to think what I wanted to say. Did I want to just get right into it, or want to acknowledge your shout out for me earlier?
Is this the studio and the time and the episode where you come out of the closet? You come out of the closet as an atheist.
Hell no. It's Holy Week this week, my guy.
Power to my black people.
That's what's new. Well, it's Holy Week this week, so.
Holy Week. It's also. Yeah, boys and girls, taking a quick break, just letting you know to share and subscribe and enjoy and just show love. You know what I mean? I'm into it.
Okay, not quite, but yeah.
Finances,
I see what
I'm
you're
into it. You know what I'm saying?
They got the Passover this weekend. The Catholics got Easter, or the Christians got Easter this week. Most people Easter just the Easter bunny, but we got a bit more into that.
I didn't do no Easter bunny shit when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I knew that motherfucker was just a pedophile.
That's an American thing. I don't even know how that thing started, but I think that was like a pagan ritual.
Rape.
Pagan
Probably
shit.
rape.
But yeah, so Holy Week this week, fucking Good Friday yesterday. Just chilling at home. But yeah, now we got Easter tomorrow. It's gonna be a good day. And then fucking we're into the next season, my guy. We're into real spring coming up soon. Patio season.
Patio season
with
with restrictions.
I was just gonna say it leads us right into our little Corona section here. We got
little
tonight.
Corona section.
So what the fuck, man?
I just saw 3 restaurants open up and close the doors again.
Fuck. Dude, that's rough.
Listen, dog. I got my birthday in May, and
you're good for me. I think.
Oh, shut the fuck up! How dare you put these rainbows up my asshole? Listen,
I think
I made reservations at Gotham.
Yeah. They'll still
for
hold
3. Their most expensive steak is $158. Okay.
Fuck, I got no words for that. That's just.
And you know, I'm gonna be turning 27.
Yeah.
And I guess the next episode where Hector actually grows a jawline from chewing gum.
You motherfucker. This guy had me feel his skull.
That's right.
Because apparently he's got a thick skull. And I don't mean like that kind of thick skull. I mean the other kind of thick skull.
The tries speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying? The tries.
I'm talking about like the head muscles here. Like
Listen.
The boxer's muscles.
I've had hypertrophy in all my muscles. Yeah, boys and girls, taking a quick break, just letting you know to share and subscribe and enjoy and just show love. I'm like that uncle, you know? Nobody wants to invite, but they have to. And then when I come, everybody's kind of shitting their pants.
Oh, man. I gotta tell you, this shit is weird right now. I'm just going back to the COVID stuff. I saw an Instagram post from one of the restaurants that I used to go to, and I fucking feel bad for these guys, man, because these guys, to keep their restaurant open, like before the restrictions just came in last week, they had the whole thing going on. The fucking plexiglass dividers, limited seating. It was crazy. You literally couldn't show up to this place on a Friday and get a seat because it was so artificially busy, right? Because they're at 10% capacity, or whatever, 30% capacity.
Shut your mouth. It's 50% capacity.
These guys might have even been less. I don't know. But what I mean is that it's so hard to get a table. A, because it's a Friday night, so there's already people out. And then B, there's less fucking available seats. It's ridiculous. I remember I showed up, they're like, oh yeah, 2.5 hour wait. And I was
Fuck
like,
yourself.
And I was like, fuck me, how did I not even think of that?
Not even for fucking J-Lo, bro.
You know what I mean? So-
Not even for J-Lo.
And then I see an Instagram post from these guys, and they're like, sorry guys, you know, let's close it down. And then the next day, you know what they did? They just set up tables and chairs on the fucking sidewalk. Respect to these guys. They're making it work.
Respect.
They're making it work, man. Shout out to AJ's Broken Pizza.
Shout out to black people, you know, coming through. You know, shout out to Eddie Murphy, making funny movies. I thought this, I saw this Coming to America. I recommend it. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's actually funny as fuck.
It's on Crave
And
or Prime.
it's on Prime. And Prime is actually more affordable than Netflix. Go figure.
Bro, not even that. You know what's crazy?
You actually get a better service because when you pay Prime, you also do the deliveries.
Oh yeah,
too.
all that other stuff.
So
But
that's
I mean,
huge.
Like, movie selection on Prime is actually pretty good.
Is that why Bezos is killing it?
I don't know, man. Like, all I can tell you is that my dad has never been about any of these streaming services. He used to watch movies on YouTube. Like, he used to just look up like free movies on YouTube.
He's a true immigrant.
But he is all about Prime
Does
now.
your dad have an accent?
Yeah.
Can you give me like a quick little figure?
I
of what he
can't
sounds like?
can't make it up.
No, not the depth of the voice, but can you make up the?
No, I actually can't even make up the accent. I just know that it is. The problem is I don't speak English with him. It's only Spanish, right? So I don't. But I know that he has an accent because the little times that I've heard him speak
Yes.
English, I know it's there.
Hector's dad, shout out. You know what I'm saying?
he's
That guy's
all-
been around a long time.
He's all about the Prime, man. He's fucking watching all kinds of movies now, and there's so many things there. Versus Netflix is not like it's great for TV shows and like
Yep.
original content. But when it comes to like licensed content, like older movies, movies from production all that stuff, Prime's the way. And my dad
Prime's the way.
all the time.
Shout out to Jeff Bezos. We're giving a lot of shout outs tonight, but tonight's episode is going to be called shout outs to these
Shout-outs?
imaginary fucks. Jeff Bezos, shout out to your fucking crooked eye.
Imagine,
And shout out the fact that you didn't get a hair transplant and you're a billionaire.
imagine this fucking guy just like watches our podcast one day and he's like, "Look at these two fucking degenerates."
The dumbest thing he did was not sign a prenup.
Oh, they're gonna say the dumbest thing he did is open our podcast. Probably true. Actually.
No, dumber than that. He's done dumber shit than that. One is not
the
fix
prenup.
that fucking eye.
No,
That eye is
no,
on
no,
a listen. That eye is on a different time zone.
That's okay though, because that makes him him. Fine.
It's like he turns his eyes, and then this one's like, oh, okay, I'll come.
But the prenup thing, I agree. That was a
Prenup's dumb.
fucking mistake.
Listen, I'm a fucking half mook, right? I've done some crazy stuff. I've done some felonies. Some stuff I'm not proud of. Some stuff I'm very proud of. Jeff Bezos, my advice to you, my guy, is don't get attracted to these hoes that just come across because you have money. You need to be able to tell that apart. And I know you built Amazon, and you're probably a genius in certain ways.
Wasn't she with him for like 30 fucking years since before he had money?
Then you gotta man up and just keep that pussy around.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
How
because I'm
dare
pretty
you?
sure she's been with him since before he even had Amazon as the idea.
Because she's a major owner now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's a
major
majority
shareholder.
shareholder. Yeah.
No, she's not majority, but she's a major owner.
Sorry, yeah, not majority. That's yeah.
No, she's Bezos is a majority
But yeah, no, she's got significant shares for sure.
owner.
Wait, no, actually, I don't think she does. I think she got
She
paid
does.
out
She-
instead of getting Amazon shares.
Okay, but what does that mean? That means that
That
he
means that
sold
he gave her
his
cash,
shares.
gave her
Okay,
cash.
okay, so he
Because he
sold
didn't
his,
want to give her shares.
So he liquefied his shares.
Yeah,
And
I think.
other people
You know
own
what?
it.
Fucking look it up because I
Doesn't matter.
remember that being a big deal to him where he was like, I don't want to give control of the actual company. I'd rather give money. And so he came up with a settlement. I think. Pretty sure that's what he did. Because I remember that was the one thing he fucking cared about. Was like, Jesus, I can't give up my fucking company.
Yeah, boys and girls, taking a quick break, just letting you know to share and subscribe and enjoy and just show love.
It's not a
Call
hard
me
name.
whatever they want.
What
No,
if
no,
you
no.
had what if you had like a tricky name?
I do have a tricky name.
What is
Every time these telemarketers call me or they call me from something important, the fucking Canada Revenue Agency
Yeah.
calls me, whatever. They're like, Mr.
Oh, the last name you named.
Bushli. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
fuck your last
it's
name.
Ugbashlu. How dare you? I'll kill you right now. It's
I
Chagabashlu.
thought you meant your first
Okay.
name. I'm like, what kind of an idiot can't say
So-
Armand?
Yeah, but that's because you know me for 10 years. A lot of guys
It's
are
a
like,
two-syllable name.
Hey, Armin. Hey, Armin.
It's 2 syllables. Bro.
Hey, Armin. How you doing, Armin?
Hey, Armin.
Yeah.
How's it going today?
Yeah, you got to be like super Irish or something. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I can do that. Hey, Armin.
Hey, Armin.
How's it going today?
Armin, how you doing today, bud?
How was your weekend today? Did you go out with the kids?
Excellent.
Fucking.
I think Kamaru's gonna take another W because I think if they fight 10 times, Usman's wins 7.
There's no way Masvidal's taking the better.
Masvidal doesn't have significantly better striking.
Listen,
he might have some.
I think we even talked about this at one point. I love Masvidal.
Yes.
I love his energy. I love his vibe. I mean, now he's kind of like playing it up now, but I love his roots, where he came up from, being that that fucking mad dog in the streets in Miami. I like that. I respect that.
Mad dog in the streets.
Fucking the Kimbo
butter knife in the sheets.
The Kimbo Slice backyard brawls. That was my shit. So I respect the guy for fighting anybody at any time. However, I am kind of annoyed at the whole how much has been played up. The whole BMF belt, the whole fucking,
You're just mad he had mad good promotion.
The scar. No, I respect his business sense and realizing that he needed one.
Listen, bro. Listen.
But
All I
didn't
gotta
have that
tell you
before.
is this, okay?
What do you got?
I gotta tell you this, all right? Come close, because I gotta tell you this and look into your eyes.
Kind of gay.
Usman is the guy leading your people. And what I mean by people, I'm talking about Spickaroos, all right?
Usman
No
or
offense.
Masvidal?
Masvidal.
Oh, you said
Sorry.
Usman. Okay.
Sorry. I meant Masvidal is the Spanish Jesus, okay? And I believe in this guy full-heartedly, okay? 2-piece in the soda, okay? 2-piece in the soda. You know where that comes from?
Leon Edwards.
2-piece in the
Yeah,
soda.
we
just went.
We were all
bop,
there.
bop, bop.
Maybe
And
not.
Eddie Bravo came out with a fucking move, a transition move called 2-piece in the soda. I don't want to go into detail because I might butcher what it is.
Yeah, sure.
But the fact that this guy's making statements, he's making timely introductions in social media, he's making good interviews, he's hyping himself up. You can't hate on that. From a guy who was a mediocre fighter to being one of the biggest draws in 2021, 2020. I mean,
listen, from a business point of view, I respect the shit out
guy's
of
a
it.
genius.
That's great.
He has no social media.
That doesn't mean that I don't have to like it, because I don't. Because I know
He's your guy.
I
though.
know what he's doing.
That's like saying I don't like Khabib.
No, that's not true.
It
Because
is. Because Khabib's actually further away.
Khabib
to
has
me
been
than you.
consistent the whole time. So we're talking about two different things. I'm talking about the fact that Masvidal did not have this Scarface persona 4 years ago. He was.
Well, he did,
no,
but
he
not, maybe
You
not
watch his
7,
interviews?
8 years ago.
Bro, he was not wearing the fucking Miami shirts. He was not wearing the Miami silk shirts. The
Yeah,
fucking
you need money for
suits.
that, though. You need money
No,
for that.
you don't. You can fucking
Are you
go to,
fucking
go
kidding
to
me?
fucking Value Village, get yourself a fucking nice silk shirt.
Yeah,
I'll tell
but
you that
that's
right
not
now,
that's
okay?
no longer Miami,
Because
baby.
ain't no one gonna tell that it's not real. I'll
It's
tell
no
you that
longer
right now.
Miami, bro.
Listen, this was something that somebody close told him, hey, listen, motherfucker, you gotta wisen up, and if you actually wanna start getting fights above your pay grade, start talking, start making these interviews,
Hold
start
on.
doing shit. They can't do it.
Oh my God,
They don't know.
they don't know.
They don't know.
Oh, yes, yes.
So, someone very close to him gave him good advice at one point and said, listen, you gotta fucking do this. You gotta really, like, play into this whole business of show business.
Show business.
And he
play
listened.
it.
And he listened, and
How
he's
did he
doing
play
way,
it,
way
bro?
better.
How did he play it?
He, on these
played it
interviews,
nice.
start
He played it very
saying
nice.
saying this shit, just being a louder person in general. Just doing that. It's the WWE format. It works.
It works.
Because who doesn't
It's
want to
been
see this
proven.
shit? Right?
Hulk Hogan, that hot dog skin motherfucker,
Fucking original, man. The gorgeous
the
George.
original.
Gorgeous George was the OG.
You know what I mean? I got Usman.
But
man. I got
fight
Usman.
wise, it has to be Usman.
I got
There's
Usman.
no way.
I want Masvidal to win, but 9 times out of 10, probably not. Rose Namajunas and Wei Li Zhang. I think Wei Li's gonna
Wei Li
kill
all the
it.
way. I love
Wei
Wei
Li's
Li.
gonna kill
I
it.
love her.
But I do want Rose Namajunas to win. Rose Namajunas is deserving. She's honest.
Mhm.
She is very earth-like, and what I mean by that is
Earth-like.
she's very down to earth.
She's of the earth.
She's the soil people. You know what I'm
Soil
saying?
people.
She's not into the materialistic things, thus the shaving of hair, right?
She's the soil people.
She's a
ladies-
warm king.
Ladies and
okay?
gentlemen, she is the soil
She's a
people.
root master,
You guys
okay?
ever watch fucking Avatar?
She's a
The
crotch.
Last Airbender?
She's a cockroach airbender, bruh. She's cockroaches and she goes, "Why, yeah, yeah." And it's done, baby.
It's a good lineup.
Shevchenko
Good lineup.
versus Jessica Andrade. Who you got? Jessica Andrade. If you guys actually look at what we do, we talked about Jessica Andrade and how she
We
was
did.
the limit
We did.
of something that we are attracted to. I don't know. If anything is thicker than Jessica Andrade, it's too thick. Because she's got traps bigger than me. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Relatively to her body structure, she's got huge traps.
Yes, she does.
I think Valentina Shevchenko is a machine on her feet.
I think so too.
She's got some judo takedowns, so I think.
She's a strong kickboxer.
But Andrade is a really good BJJ. I think she's a purple belt or a black belt or a brown belt.
Purple belt. Or
No, she's
maybe
not.
brown.
She's not a purple belt. She's a brown belt. I
Brown.
think.
I was gonna say not black.
But yeah, so that might be the better thing. But she doesn't have enough takedown skills to take down Shevchenko. Let's go back to Gaslam versus Whitaker, and that's on the 17th. I think Whitaker is where Tyron Woodley. Actually, I think Robert Whitaker is going to get to where Tyron Woodley is right now, and what I mean by that is
That's sad.
the downfall.
That's fucking sad, man. 'Cause
And-
that's another one of those top fighters that had a good fucking run, looked really good. Although I think the Whitaker situation's a bit different than the Woodley situation because Woodley didn't get injured at all in his 4-fight skid. He just
Woodley's black.
got figured out.
Yeah, but Woodley's black.
What's the point?
Well, black people have better genetics as far as recovery, as far as everything. I just think
We're
this
not
is
getting
better.
that today.
I think
My-
black people are actually
my-
supreme.
My
They're the
point is,
supreme race.
we're gonna move on there.
No, there's nothing
like,
wrong with that.
I'm
But
like-
genetically,
we're going to
I
let
think
me finish my point here, which was
black
that
people are actually the most powerful race as far as genetically.
Whitaker has been dealing with some injury issues, and I think that's led to his
Isn't he Australian?
downward spiral.
Is he Australian?
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's New Zealand. Same shit.
No, you're wrong because Adesanya is from New Zealand.
And then Whitaker's from Australia, right?
Australia,
that's
because
what
they
it is.
had that whole thing in
Yeah,
Australia.
that was a whole. Yeah, okay.
Um,
Yeah, but Whitaker's been dealing with some shit, so I think that's led to his issues with these fights because he's been losing quite a few of them. I like him, but if he goes the way of Woodley, man, that's just another fighter in his prime. Well, not prime, but
I think these guys should get some type of basic income, and that goes into our third topic of the night, which is basic income for all.
Universal basic income. What about that?
Some people just can't work. Some people are just injured for life. And disability ain't enough.
When I saw this, the first time that I saw this being used was, of all places, Stockton, California.
Shout out to Nate and Nick
209,
Diaz.
baby. 209.
That's Stockton slap, baby.
That's right. They one of the mayors there last year or the year before instituted universal basic income of $500
Not enough.
per month. I know.
Not enough.
I know. Per month to it was either the whole city or it was a selected district.
It should be like 25 grand.
It wasn't. It didn't. I don't want to say judged, but it wasn't selective. So if they're saying okay, it's gonna be like Burnaby, all of Burnaby, like fuck, it doesn't matter if you're old, young, whatever. So everybody just got a paycheck, $500 a month, because they wanted to see what was gonna happen. Are people just gonna become lazy fucks, or are people actually gonna do something with that money and be useful and productive?
And what was the outcome?
People were useful and productive and actually did something with the money.
Wow.
Right? So people who were struggling that needed just that extra bit of income to get them over that hump of, instead of constantly struggling every month, that extra 500 would help them, get a fucking babysitter. So
do a cycle of steroids from
do
time
a cycle
to time.
of steroids, you know what I mean? Whatever. And they found out that it actually helped. And in the cases where it helped enough that they could do something else with the money, they were actually spending that money into the city and actually basically putting it back into the city.
So, this is what we conclude to. Socialism. Think about it. I think it should be 2 G's.
I think it should be
2 G's.
500 is not enough.
2 to 4 grand depending on the size of your family. And you should get an application and you should get tested out. And what I mean by this is there should be an inspector coming by to see if you're an addict. See if you're a crazy fuck. See if you're a rapist. If you're crazy. If you're a terrorist. Whatever the fuck you are. They could be white terrorists. Don't always say my people are the only fucking terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay? Because there's been no fucking terrorist fucking activities from Iran. So go fuck yourself. All right? Now, that out the door, I think that they should be tested. Just like I think pregnancy should be tested. Before you have kids, you should get tested. You should have applications. Finances, you should get approved before you can bust a nut in a chick. And if you do bust a nut in a chick, there should be a simpler scientific way where you can actually extract the sperm a lot easier than killing the chick. Because, like,
What?
okay, what I mean by this is this. I've had enough girls take the morning after pill.
Oh, I
Not
understand.
because I
Shits.
told them to, but because they wanted to.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Because if you suck my helmet juice, it's a scary thought. All right? If you have a kid that's exactly like me,
Christ help us.
I'm telling you, until he is or she is 22, 23 years old, you're going to hate that kid. I tell you that
And
right
you
now.
hate
Those are the words of my mother. All right? Those are the words of one of my good friends. Most of my friends. All right?
All my friends.
Those are the words of the COs. All right? Those are the words of the correction of deans. All right? So, just be careful. Girls and boys. And what's important is if he sticks around, what's not important is how deep his wallet is. He needs to stick around. That's the most important thing. Because time can fix everything. But
Most
bad
things.
morals cannot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Shout out. How much you think it should be?
Honestly speaking,
Yeah. Give me honesty, because I don't want no lies.
I think minimum a G to a 1.5 G. I think 2 G is a bit too much.
Fuck you. How dare you say too much? 2 to 4 grand or go fuck your mother, man.
Jesus.
2 to 4 grand. Because listen, if you are a single mom and you're working 3 jobs at a diner, 3 different diners in a retail place to feed your kid, I'm not gonna lie to you. Your kids are gonna grow up to be fucking addicts and whores. This
I
is
think
why.
per
Because you
person.
have
So
no,
I think if
you
you
have
have-
no father figure. You have no mother figure because the kids have to raise themselves. What kind of morals do you think
But
your
it's
oldest
per-
kid is gonna
it's
give
per
your younger
person,
kids?
though, right? So like per kid would give you a 1.5 more each. So if you're a
Yeah,
mom with
so-
3
so then-
kids,
okay,
now
but-
it's 1.5 times 4.
Okay,
instead of
okay,
times
so
1.
I understand that, but so then with that calculation, it'd be more than 2 to 4 grand.
Yeah, it would be. So
Okay,
I'm
so
saying
that
a per
doesn't make
person
sense.
thing. I'm saying a per human person. Fuck the per family thing. It's per
Okay,
person.
I could go with that.
So
I don't care.
That's what I think.
I don't care. I think it should be minimum per person $900.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, closer to like a grand, 1.5 maybe.
That's
depending.
right, because that actually helps you out, you know. Yeah, boys and girls, taking a quick break, just letting you know to share and subscribe and enjoy and just show love. But yeah, man, it's rough out there in the streets, and we only have an idea of the countries that report back. We have no idea.
Well, that
these
was
countries
a pilot program, right? So they only ran it for I think 8 months, and then they stopped it because that was the whole point. Is they're like,
Yeah.
we're only good for 8 months. So it actually is not running right now, but they found great success with it.
Let's get racist.
Let's get racist.
Yeah, let's get racist.
Okay.
And I don't mean this by disrespect. Respect to all people. You know, you're beautiful. Girls, guys, women, men,
Sure.
children. You're all beautiful. If you're a good person, you are beautiful. But we all have preferences. Why are we lying to each other?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants a hairy ape. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Nobody looks around and says, I want a hairy ape with a small penis in me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Nobody says, I want to shave a bush to eat a bush. They just say, I want to eat a bush.
Sure.
Right? So, that being said, what are your preferences in women as far as race?
I think we've actually been over this.
We've
and
been
I-
over this, but
the
this is
first-
this is a this
and-
is a
and
this
it
is a
hasn't
rhetorical
changed.
question in a
It
way.
hasn't changed. I think this is for our first or second episode. I actually did mention that I don't have a real preference that way.
Yeah, because you've dated.
I've-
You've recently told me you've gone into the Indians, and I don't mean Native Americans. Because I call them Native
Did
Americans.
that too, actually.
I'm talking about East Indian from Asia.
Right.
Now, I'll tell you right now, them and most Middle Eastern chicks I've ever met, except for that one chick,
Yeah.
I would never date them. And this is why. I can't promise to be faithful if I'm not 100% attracted to you.
Okay.
And why put you through that pain?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Right.
I'm wasting my money. I'm wasting my time. I'm not fully attracted to you. And I'm sure there's millions, maybe billions of girls that aren't attracted to me based on where I'm from and how I look and how I talk.
Yeah.
100%. I don't take offense to that. It's just how it is.
Sure.
Right? An elephant is never going to drive a Mercedes. Okay?
No idea what that means, but okay.
You just get what you get. Okay?
Okay.
My preference is I'll go as far as race because I'm honest, unlike this fucking lying motherfucker. Listen,
motherfucker over here.
you're like Pablo Escobar. You lied to make the people but you actually do something for other people as well. But you lie in between.
I'm not
in
lying.
the mix.
I'm not
Okay.
lying, motherfucker.
Me, it's like this. Latinas are my top. Okay, top of the line. Top of the line is Latinas, and
Sure.
there's many reasons because their culture's like me, because their bodies are beautiful. Their affection is nice. I don't even need to go into that. And then it goes high class white girls, and I don't mean by high class. I mean like good families. Okay, because there's a lot of white girls that don't have good families. They got terrible fathers, terrible mothers.
True.
They have bad morals, and they be sucking dick since they were 11 years old. I'm not trying to get into that. That's drama.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got half Asians. I'm into half Asians sometimes. Half Asians actually been the most forgiving woman in my life.
Interesting.
Shout out to them.
It means a lot, especially for you.
Shout out to them. They're one of the most forgiving. And I don't mean like I did something bad to them.
That's what I
but
was
they're
thinking.
actually, after I break up with them, they're
Ooh.
actually good people. Like inside their hearts, they have no hate for me.
Yeah.
You know, and as they shouldn't, because I have no hate for any woman in the world. I have no hate. Unless your name is Hillary Clinton and you killed a bunch of people and you deleted your emails, I have no hate towards you because you're just another human, just
Sure.
like me, and
Sure.
you did nothing to me, so I can't hate you. But I watched Coming to America 2, and
Here we go.
you know, other than those 3 races, I'm not really into that many other races. I'm not even into my own race. There's obviously exceptions as far as like, you know, an anomaly type of girl
Yeah.
where, you know, she has she has all the things that I look for as far as personality, looks,
Yeah.
whatever, morals. But she just ends up being, you know, Persian or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
There's those aspects. But Coming to America made me realize that I'm actually balls deep into black chicks. I had no idea.
For the next 2 weeks, you will be. Anyway.
I had no, man, not 2 weeks. There was a specialty girl.
What
okay?
else have you watched that?
Her name is Tiana Taylor. Okay, Google her name. Google her name and go to images.
Listen, if this is
No
what
need
you're
to
about,
say
This is what
sexy.
you're about. Google Saweetie. You know Saweetie?
Listen, all I gotta say about this girl is she's got a little bit of a ghetto booty, a little bit of thotty. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of thotty, a little bit of the Jamaica thotty. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
She's got that kiss of death on that left cheek. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kiss of death. And she looks like she stripped a couple times. She's got that short hair like she likes to suck dick left and right. You know what I'm saying? Up
Sure.
and down. But you know what? All respect to her. You know, if you got it, flaunt it. I'm about it. You know what I'm saying? She's got one of the best abs I've ever seen on girls.
Oh yeah, that's
but
crazy.
she's like half. I don't know if she's half black or she's full black and bleaches her skin, but she's fairly light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
But she's beautiful. I think she's one of the best looking black chicks I've ever seen in my life. Now, do I have a chance with her in my life? Probably not.
Probably not.
But
unless your name's Amon Shumpert.
Thing. She's
That's
actually
still,
more artsy.
That's still entertainment. That's what I mean in the entertainment industry.
She's
music,
direct. She's like a music director.
movies,
Exactly.
art.
Right. Okay.
But what I mean is, if you get with someone else in that similar industry, chances are you're doing it for a reason. However, if she got together with some fucking like doctor from back in her hometown, okay, that's different because like that's not a clout thing anymore. That's just a clearly you just like this person because why else would you be with them kind of deal. What the fuck is that? So
I don't know.
So that the fact that she's with Shumpert doesn't mean much. 'Cause yeah, if it wasn't Shumpert, it'd be some other fucking be a fucking rapper, be a fucking music entertainer, sports agent, music producer. You know what I mean? Like that's not. Of course, they're doing it for clout. That's W. There you go. First one.
Hell no. She's even more ghetto.
Are you sure? Well, yeah, definitely.
No.
With the lashes, nails.
Listen to me.
Listen,
Ghetto-ness. Okay. I don't know about other guys out in the world. All right. I don't know. Okay. Some guy
There's
from
a lot of guys
Harlem.
out there.
They might want this. But for me, if I'm looking for a chick that I want to spend my life with, I'm not looking for ghetto-ness. It's the last thing I'm
Probably
looking for.
not.
And the thoughtiness. I'm not looking
Probably
for
not.
a girl who sleeps around. I actually rather chase a girl for 2 years than have a girl fucking sleep with me the night of. It's disrespectful to yourself.
I
You
agree
gotta
with that.
you gotta keep your respect.
I agree with that.
All right.
Sometimes-
Always ask yourself, girls. Always ask yourself, what would my mom
Sometimes
do?
the
What
chase-
would be the male?
Sometimes
what-
the chase is worth the wait.
Exactly.
Yep.
What would be the main leader, role model in my life? The best role model. What would they do at this point? And if you think that they want to do what you're doing, maybe you shouldn't do that shit.
Interesting. That's a good point.
You know, I
Yes.
look at I think let me tell you like this. My father was a fucking demon. And every time I do crazy stuff,
Yeah.
or I'm about to, and I think, will my dad do this? And if the answer is yes, I don't do it.
Interesting.
Right? And that's been the case since 2016. Shout out, 5 years free. You know what I'm saying? Freedom is beautiful. All right? But this girl is fucking mint. Not Sweetie, but Tatiana. And I'm sure there's a lot of hot black queens out there in the world. Just understand that, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not the guy that you want to be with. But generally, I think across the board, if you're less thoughty and you're more classy and you're more educated, you focus on morals and philosophy instead of fucking hoes and fucking thongs and fucking just shallow shit. You will actually improve the likelihood of landing the guy that you want.
Good advice.
Let me tell you something.
Please don't.
When you were 17,
Mhm.
were you single?
No.
Describe this chick to me, just physically.
Did you know her?
I think I did.
I think you didn't.
I just want to know what's the
Wait,
description.
I'll say one thing, and if you say yes or no, then it means it'll be very clear. Short,
Yes.
like super short.
Yes.
Okay, then you probably did. Oh yeah, older.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So this girl was
I got
No, actually-
motherfuckers in the shot.
no, just 1 year. 1 year.
Don't ever say she's the older girl. I thought, dude, how
do you
homie described me. He was like, she's in her mid-20s. And I was like,
Who said this?
I don't want to say who said it, but one of our buddies said this.
Like one of my boys? Like my boys? They wouldn't fuck that up.
listen.
Someone that you know, that we know.
That we know.
Okay, but not like one of my boys.
No, one of the boys. No, not really the boys though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like not
Really.
like,
Not like
Yeah,
Vic
yeah,
or
yeah,
Emma.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
like that. No. No.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Somebody told me though.
That makes
They're
sense.
like they're mid-20s. I'm like Hector mid-20s. Good for him.
Well, not in high school, but afterwards, yes. So that's why I'm like,
No. This was in high. This was like in.
they're describing me in high school.
They're talking about this girl.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's in her mid-20s. I'm like, no, she's
When
not.
did they tell you this? After the fact, like way later, or like during?
If it's
actually,
I
during, it
had
makes
no
sense.
idea. I had no idea. I think up until mid-grade 12.
So that's what I mean. So they told you this during like when it happened, like in that terrain, because that would
Yeah,
make
but
more
it was
sense.
super shady. It was kind of like I saw them in the hallway, and we were both trying to like waste time
that
while we
would
went to the
make more
bathroom.
sense.
And this guy I think he just made up a story.
That's
and
what I
he's
mean.
he's trying to act all cool and shit because he's trying to like make up something interesting, and I don't think it was actually that interesting, and he just made up some lies in between.
But
I think that was the case.
This guy.
This guy.
This makes more sense because like when you're that age, you're
You
gonna
got
say
nothing
that
going
shit.
on.
Not only that, but like, because the girl's like 1 year older, but because she was 1 year older in grade 12, she wasn't going to school anymore. So when she would come to visit, she'd come from like outside. So that's where you're like, yo, you know what I mean? Like when you're that age, you're like, yo, dude. She's like, yo, older shit. So that's why it feels like it's more. Versus like if somebody were to tell you that about it now, they'd be like, no, man, it's like 1 year older. Yeah, it's going to university. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. So that makes.
I mean, dog, we're nearly 30.
No, but I
Shouldn't
mean, like,
be.
if somebody told you about it now, I would imagine they'd be more accurate with it.
Now we are that girl because I've dated recently, not recently, but within the last 8 months.
Why'd you ask though? The girl.
I'm just curious to know.
Oh yeah.
I was curious to know if you're gonna tell me the truth. And you know what? I could say this honestly. You're an honest dude. The four of us that we know from the old podcast,
Yeah.
all honest dudes. I've turned to honesty of recent. I used to
Taking honesty as a religion.
I used to exaggerate my insecurities.
Yes, I remember.
I don't know if you know what I mean. And it wasn't lies necessarily, but it was like spazzes, I would say.
Yeah.
And that makes you lonely in the world, man.
You know, every time I see a grind, you know what that reminds me of?
Armonic Bush.
Nope. This fucking stoner white kid in high school.
Yes.
We do you know who Liam is?
No.
Okay, so think of like.
Listen, 80% of our graduating class
okay.
had no idea who they were.
Think of like your typical white stoner kid, but like
Long
nice guy though.
hair.
But like yeah, long hair, but like nice guy though,
Yeah.
right? And he had to. I was taking like woodwork, like shop class, like
Yeah.
woodworking or whatever.
Yeah.
And this guy takes it because I think he was forced to. Decided to take it, and so then we did the first project that we had to do was
Let's do another shot.
no, I'm done. The first project that we did was that one that everyone had to do, and then the next project was like pick your project, do whatever you want. You know what this guy decides to do? He decides to make a grinder.
Come on, pick it up.
Fuck off.
So the school shooter that turned into this kid.
Yeah, so like he decided to make a grinder.
Out of what?
It was actually really nice.
Wood?
So
Out of wood?
Wood, and then
That doesn't work.
for the no, but for the actual bits,
Yeah.
nail like
Don't ever call them bits.
what do you call it? The actual
They're called teeth.
for the teeth, he used nails.
How am I teaching you this and you're born here?
I don't give a fuck about this. It's not my world. I don't care.
It's my world, cocksucker.
So yeah, he made it. So he made like the base out of wood. It actually
Yeah.
looked kind of nice in the end.
Yeah.
He actually did a decent job. And then yeah, he used nails for the teeth. And then because when the fucking Mr. Gaska's looking at this shit, he's like, so
His
what
name
is
was
this?
Mr. Gasket.
Gaska,
Oh.
not gasket. although one of our boys, he used to call it, hey, gasket.
A gasket.
But when he looked at it, he's like, hey, Liam, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, it's for tea leaves. And I was like, oh, okay, fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Not grow ups.
But ever since then, anytime I see a grinder, it just reminds me of.
You see that kid now?
I haven't seen him in years and years. I think the last time I saw him, I actually saw him randomly, like 6 years ago. I was waiting for the bus over at Royal Oak, and I saw him with another like fucking white stoner. Well, nice guys, super stoned, but super nice.
Nothing wrong with stoners, man.
No, man, not at all.
Nothing wrong with stoners.
Never had a problem.
If you know yourself, be that self that you want to be. You know what I mean?
Be yourself.
No need to impress. No need to dictate another future. If you're happy with who you are, stick true to yourself. What happened to the hose?
The hose?
Yeah, because like I sincerely care about the hose, and why I do this is because I do this for research purposes.
Research purposes only.
And it's interesting to me where these hoes end up. Hoes in university, hoes in high school.
What do you consider a hoe? From back then.
Using pussy to get what she wants, man. That's across the board.
Can't tell
Whether
you.
she actually gives the pussy
can
or
you-
just
can-
gives.
Can you even do that in high school?
Of course you can.
What? To get what?
Just because you didn't fuck in high school. doesn't
No,
mean-
no, but like, what do you
A
get?
lot of guys fuck in high
But I
school.
mean, like, you can't do that for the teachers. That's fucking illegal. So, you know what I mean? So, like, what do you actually get?
I mean, it is illegal, but does it get done? Yes.
Yeah, but not enough for it to be, like, a thing. You know what I mean? Because when it happens, you fucking hear about it. You know what I mean? Like, especially nowadays, Jesus.
Nowadays, we're
Forget it.
talking about 10 years ago.
But what I mean is, like, that's more of a thing, like, later on in life
Hey,
that you see
hey,
everywhere.
hey.
What?
June, we graduate 10 years.
I know. Well, some of us. Did you graduate with us?
How dare you? I was the first person in our
Out the
graduating
gate?
class.
Out the gate,
I had
my
the
guy?
chain. And Mr. Lee shaking my hand, and all I'm thinking is, this guy is a fucking cuck. That's all I was thinking the whole time.
I was the last one out there, remember?
I know.
That's
And
hilarious.
how funny is it now we're having a podcast from A to fucking Z, bro.
There you go. That's the fucking name of the podcast.
Ah! Funny but foul out. A to Z in.
A to Z.
No,
How
we're gonna stick to
how
funny
fucking
but
easy
foul.
is that, man? A to Z.
A to Z podcast. It's too layman though. It's too like children's storybook, fairy tale type of fucking, A to Z.
From A to Z.
It's
Hilarious.
too hurt. It's too hurt. How do you think Biden's doing right now?
I
We
think
haven't
he's-
heard
he's
much.
probably on his deathbed, man. He looks.
You
weak.
hear about that ship
He
like
looks
3 weeks ago
physically weak.
that's stuck in the sand?
Hell yeah! When we're talking about that, man, the Evergreen.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That was
I just
insane.
came up with it.
That was insane. So, imagine that a fucking ship just gets stuck and blocks one of the busiest shipping routes in the entire fucking world.
To the point where like gas goes up $6 a gallon.
Everything, man. I mean,
No,
luckily,
but no, I'm just
things got
trying
fixed.
to highlight. I'm just trying to highlight how,
but
how crazy that
no, I get it.
area
Like
is.
it's like the Suez is fucking insanely like the Suez and the Panama are two of the biggest shipping routes in the entire fucking world.
I think they said it's like the top 1/3
30% of the world's shipping traffic goes through there per day.
Per day.
Per day, not
Per
because
day.
people be like, oh,
Not
yeah,
per week.
like, oh, yeah,
per day.
per month. That's not it. Per fucking day, right?
Because gas prices, like I don't know about you fuckers in the States complaining about $5 gallons when that's actually $1.25. That's not even that bad per liter. What I'm talking about is we got 152 per liter in Canada, and we ain't even complaining.
Yeah. I filled up today 146,
Okay, yeah, but like
which is still ridiculous.
in Vancouver, if you go to like downtown, it's closer to 150.
Who fills up in downtown, bro? There's like no more gas stations there anymore. They like killed all them motherfuckers.
There's a lot actually. There's a
No,
lot
downtown they're mostly gone.
Downtown, yes, but like near downtown, no, they're not.
I guess there's like a couple on.
There's
Hastings.
Super Save, there's Shell.
There's a Hastings up
on Clark and Knight.
getting near the port. There's that one.
Clark and Knight.
Yeah. Well, no, Clark's Place the other way, but I'm talking about like no, actual Hastings and whatever turnoff that is.
So you gotta give me an intersection. You can't say actual Hastings.
I want to get McGill, near McGill and Hastings. Yeah, McGill and Hastings. There you go. I gave you one so we can spot that.
That's a good one. I used to work in a company
I was just there.
that filled up a Petrocan with Petrocards.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's the craziest thing?
What?
These guys pay like 70 cents a liter.
Insane.
Because that's the cost of what these gas stations get.
Yeah.
But they sell it to us at like double.
Probably. Yeah. Can't imagine they'd be selling it at cost.
No way. Why would they? How
That's
can
what I'm
that
saying,
make
like,
sense?
And that's what I'm saying. Of course, they have to mark it up.
But double?
I don't know.
What's markup? Like we're both in sales. What's markup on you? How many points? How many
0.4 minimum. Like 40% minimum, so 0.6.
So 40 points.
40%, yeah, minimum. And it depends on the product. Some shit's less. Like if we're talking about like third-party equipment.
Is it more expensive? If it's more expensive, is it less points?
No, that's not how we do it.
How do you do it?
It's more like product lines. So whether we make it or whether we buy and resell.
When you buy and resell, it's less.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Third party, anything costs less.
Yeah, it's tricky because like you understand that if you're buying and reselling, someone else is also buying and reselling. So you can't fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
Because that other motherfucker who buy the same shit's gonna just mark it up less than you are. And
Where you could set market value if you're selling and making.
If you're making, it's IP. It's your intellectual property. So no one's gonna fucking have it. So no one's gonna sell it. So at that point you have full control. At that point, the only thing you have to worry about is you might want to mark it up like fucking 100%, but then your competitor, who technically doesn't have the same product you have, but a similar one, will just offer it for cheaper. So you gotta be careful with that shit too. Even though you might have like some crazy stuff that makes your product way better, you can't go crazy with it and just say like I'm gonna mark it up like.
Let me ask you a sexual question, and it's not even that
Going
sexual.
From sales to sex, baby.
Yeah, from S to S and back. And you fucked that. How did you fuck that already?
It's barely there, man.
No, you got here.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm telling you. You gotta make this less so it goes in.
I know it's a wedge.
You gotta make this thin. Rolling joints. Don't put it there, fuck. You put it here. This guy, straight amateur, out of these streets.
I don't claim to be anything but. Just I'm honest.
I don't claim. I just clan.
It's because he does steroids.
I've never done steroids in my life.
That's
How
right.
dare you? This is white girls.
Yeah.
Right? But when I see it face to face, I got to say, my friend.
I'm doing this thing again where I'm getting lit, and then I'm like seeing where it's going, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is he saying?
Listen, man. If you can't follow me when you're sober, you definitely can't follow me when you're high. Because I got
start doing that shit.
The thing I got is I might not have ideas, but I have ultra confidence, and it just works out eventually. You know what I'm saying? You either gotta have ideas, or you just gotta be confident when whatever you say. Is it how you say it, or is it the idea that's funny? What is it? On average, it's usually the confidence.
On average, yeah. For most people, like in a bigger setting. 100%.
Exactly.
But in a smaller setting, it's
The
other
older you get though, and if I continue open mics, and I actually like get to a place, I don't think I'll ever get to a place where I'm famous with it, but it's
Sure.
just get to a place where you enjoy it, just like
yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
You don't become a champion, you just enjoy it because you enjoy the hobby. I think I'll become actually the opposite of that. It'll be ideas that are funny, because
That's what you aim for. You want the actual.
yeah, because the
substance.
older you get, you realize like the texture of the world, not only what you see but what it means.
Yeah.
And the older and older you get, like into your 50s and 60s, there's actually a third dimension that repeats the first dimension of what you originally saw. And
What is this bullshit?
no. What I mean by dimension is like meaning. So in your 20s, you have a certain 20 to 30s, you have your certain meaning of life. In your 40s and 50s, you have a certain meaning of life, and you in like your 60s and 70s, you have a different meaning of life.
Okay, I see where you're going with that, because the first time you said it, I was like, what the fuck?
As my mom gets older, I notice that she's in the phase of the third set.
I get this. I don't know.
And that third set,
I think that age number probably is a bit different for everybody. But
for sure,
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying in terms of like
that third set of people actually understand the first set better than the second set of people. The second set of people are actually just an effect, a recurrence effect of being 20 to 30.
Right.
When you're 20 to 30, you're generally really lazy or whatever. You have certain problems.
Yeah.
You try to completely switch that around and polarize that in your 40s and 50s and be like super efficient, super antisocial. You're not antisocial in that way, but what I'm saying is you're very focused in career, in your life, whatever.
Yeah.
And in your 60s, you realize that you just spent 20 years trying to be super social, but that's not what life is about, and you get closer to what your 20s are. And it's funny because when you're 60, my mom sometimes gives me advice nowadays. It's amazing because I've actually kept track of the advice I've written down since I was 11 years old. Advice my mom's given me, and stuff that was worked and stuff that never worked. I don't know any kid that does that shit. I just did it to see what fucking works.
You know what I think it actually also is, and I just realized this, and maybe it's the weed. I'm not sure, but it might be helping. In that first phase that you mentioned, when you get
hit some of this.
No. Fuck off. Okay, so in that first phase that you mentioned, imagine you have a kid at the end of that first phase.
Yeah.
When you're in that second phase, this kid is still
growing
below that first phase.
Yep.
But when you get to your third phase,
that
kid is now in your first phase.
Yeah.
So you are now able to actually appreciate and relate to that more.
I have a really good question, and don't let me forget this.
Okay.
Is it almost better to have your kids in your second set so you understand them when you're in your third set?
Yes.
Than having kids when you're in your first set and you will never understand them.
No, but
hold on, let me explain this. Because if you have a kids in your first set, so we're talking 20 to 30 years old, you have a kid.
Yeah.
When there are teenagers, you're in your second set. You don't understand them.
Yeah. Exactly.
And when you're in your third set, they're in their 40s and 50s, so you still don't understand them. So you'll never understand them. Whereas if you have kids in your second set, you'll eventually hit a phase where you're 1 and 3, you're odd numbers.
Well, that's basically what I was saying, right? So you want to have it at the end of the first, whatever that may be, whether 20s or 30s, and then you have the kid, because by the time you get to your third set, you can now relate to those kids because they're now where you started.
Something else to go with this, okay?
I actually think that's really key because I'm starting to see that in my parents now.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I'm seeing that in my dad.
No bullshit. Cockiness aside.
Yeah.
I honestly think weed gives me some jokes and some straight up ideas and a way of thinking.
Sure.
I'm gonna be completely honest, and this might sound addictive.
Sure.
As far as like I might be an addict.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've accepted that fact. Weed and a little bit of alcohol, not a lot, like what we just did tonight.
Yeah.
2 shots, 2 beers.
Sure.
Simple. Even 1 shot, 1 beer is okay.
Yeah.
You'll hit a phase, you'll hit a frequency that you'll think about things completely different than when you're sober. And you'll say things that you would never would when you're sober. And when you actually look back, because I have, like, do this podcast, this is the reason I got high when we first did the podcast, to see what the fuck it is. Am I coming up with better ideas, or does it sound better to me? 9, no, I'm not going to say that. 6 times out of 10, I'm actually having better ideas. It's actually a certain frequency. And when you get high with me, you actually realize when we ran it back,
remember that question I asked you
Which one?
when we're talking about, remember the other podcast where we were talking about how the fight might have been too much for Sean O'Malley, or he might have went too much. He hit that guy in the face
Yeah.
past
Yeah.
the stop, and
Yeah.
I was trying to make the argument that in a different dimension, if he didn't hit that shot, could you make the argument that it was ended too early?
Oh yeah.
And we're
the-
saying
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So, well, I said that we're completely baked and we're drunk as fuck,
Yeah.
right? And what was your response? Your response was, "Oh, hey, yeah, I, you know, that I'm too high to understand what that means, or I'm too high for this conversation." Was basically your response.
Sure.
Okay. Now that's normal for some guy who you don't smoke that much weed, so you're not very functional on weed.
Sure.
You'll get used to it.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is the outcome of the actual conversation was actually a decently well put question, even though we're high. So all this time that you've been saying, when you get high, you say stupid shit. Yes, sometimes 4 out of 10 times.
Sure.
But 6 out of 10 times, you say some cool shit that actually is you when you look back on it when you're sober, you're like, that's not a bad question.
Mhm.
But me personally, I couldn't come up with that same question. I couldn't word it the same if I wasn't high. Is my point. So sometimes I think there's a frequency of understanding. Like if you're high and I'm high,
Mhm.
This might sound super dumb, but there's levels of attachment to the idea that you're thinking of. So if you're thinking of an idea and you're sober, there's different levels of attachment to the idea. And when you're high and you think about the same
Yeah.
subject, you have different levels of attachment because you're in a different sense of mind.
Mhm.
So you come up with different conclusions.
Collusions. Well,
Yeah. Russia, Mother Russia,
Spotted.
and vodka.
Spotted, motherfucker.
Yes.
I see what you're saying. You meant to conclusions.
Yeah.
Conclusions. Yes.
Yeah. So
I do think there is some.
I
truth to
think
that.
as older I get, I realize weed, you can't do it during the week, but you can do it functionally during the week.
I would say like
after work, after school,
normally I would say
before sleep.
there's a time and a place. It's not just time and a place. It actually also just depends what you're doing, because that time and a place might be more often for you, depending on what you do day to day, week to week, month to month, than somebody else. So I think somebody who has to be high functioning during the day, high interaction during the day, and high alert during the day probably isn't the best to get baked, because you're gonna be talking
Not baked, just buzzed.
even buzzed. Because if you're gonna be talking to a lot of people at work, if you're gonna be operating machinery, like doing like these kind of things, I don't know if that's the best.
Listen, off camera, I'm gonna tell you some
Yeah,
fucking
no, I know.
ridiculous things.
I've heard from like similar from other friends, but
Listen,
I think
yeah.
it's not just. I don't think anybody should say it, and if I've said it, I would take it back. But I don't think anybody can say that weed is not for everybody, because I do think it actually is for everybody. But the other thing that's very important with that statement is it needs to be different for everybody. Not everybody's gonna have this. First of all, the same reaction to weed. So even I know you're a seasoned vet and you've been doing this for a long time, but even if you didn't,
Thank you very much.
you might already have a genetic predisposition to handle it differently than somebody else.
I think I have a genetic disposition to addiction.
Well, no, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
But
like
I think, yeah.
if you take 2
I
puffs
think it's a seasoned vet
of
thing
this
more.
joint, and somebody else off the street takes 2 puffs,
Yeah.
and we're not talking like any built-up tolerance, just straight up like who you are as a person genetically.
Maybe.
Your body
Who knows?
Your body may or may not react differently to somebody else.
Maybe. Who knows?
Right? So you might take 2.
All I could say is the first year I smoked
but hold
weed,
on,
I didn't even get high.
I want to finish this point because I think it's important.
Go ahead.
You might take 2 puffs and you might feel it a bit, or you might not. Let's say you don't. You're just whatever, it doesn't hit you. Somebody off the street might take those same 2 puffs off the same joint, and they're like in a different dimension. Right? And so I think for everybody who's out there, I think there actually is a good amount that exists for everybody, because everybody I think deserves to have that experience with them and to have the feeling that goes along with, I think, a healthy amount of, say it, cannabis consumption. But I also don't like it if, let's say you got a buddy who's never smoked. I don't think you should be forcing, and I don't mean this you as in you, Armand. I mean, or like you as my buddy. I mean you as like a general sense. I don't think you should be forcing some like pre-assumed like amount or consistency or like just lifestyle in general to this person, because they might just need a different like routine for how they incorporate it in their lives
I think
to work best for them
I
and what
think-
they do.
I think if you're actually taking stats down, you can come up with an amount. And the reason I tell you 3 to 4 puffs, I never tell you like 7 to 8, because two things. One, 7 to 8 can actually get you too high. Someone like you that doesn't smoke
Sure.
weed. From my experience, 4 puffs, even like small statured woman, like 5 foot, she's 30 years old. 4 puffs doesn't fuck her up. So a guy like you, who you're 6
Yeah.
feet, you're $195,
Mhm.
whatever the fuck you are.
Sure.
I give you that extra 5 pounds because I think you're thicker and your neck's bigger and shit, and that mustache is heavy, son.
Sure.
It's bulk season. But yeah. So guy like you can handle 4. Now I've gone the UFC route where I've actually put you to college. I've taken you down. You went from junior college to
See,
university.
UFC route.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
fuck is
I built you up, I didn't just throw you to the wolves. I didn't just give
Okay,
you a
sure.
brownie cookie and see you fucking fail. No, I gave you a puff, gave you 2 puffs,
Mhm.
3 puffs, like a father to a son.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's key that we put this, because as a pothead, it's my job to have you enjoy this,
Sure.
because it's sharing, right? It's
Mhm.
sharing. You share the emotions of
Sure.
how pod is. You want to share it with other people
Mhm.
how it is. I would never fuck you up.
Sure.
That being said, there's people that aren't actually trying to like share the emotion and the good feelings of
Mhm.
weed. They're actually trying to fuck the other person up for
True.
for some other reason, as far as like abuse them or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just being a rapist, bro. That's what that is. What I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to get you to have a good time.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It's just enjoy yourself, like we always say, enjoy yourself,
Like we do
be
at this
free. And I think give me some last thoughts, man. Give me some last give me 3 good high
time. You know.
Mr. Hector thoughts. You know
Mr.
what I'm
Hector,
saying?
you don't want. We don't
This
have
is
time
this
for
guy. I'm gonna give you a little intro to this guy. This guy probably the number 1 straight facts guy I've ever met in my life. Like straight facts. He's got the most pointless facts that he knows, but they're fucking amazing. They'll come in handy sometimes, and you'll be like, "How the fuck did you know this? Like, where did you have the time?" Because he's not like a lazy motherfucker. He has these facts. I have some really smart friends. None have facts like this motherfucker. He's like the Rain Man of facts, okay? There's things in history and dialogues that he'll recall that I'm like, which day? At what age? How big was your dick when you read this? Because this is incredible. How the fuck did you remember this shit? I can go into anything. This guy has facts. Continue, please. That was quite an intro, okay?
Fucking thank you, man.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
bro.
Listen, this was, I will tell you, okay, a couple last thoughts, I guess, to wrap up this whole podcast. One, this was probably my best weed session on this podcast. I'll tell you that. Best weed session, for sure. I'll give you that. I actually got the enjoyment that I think of when people talk about it.
This is all a proud father wants to hear.
Like, I got the likeness to it. I had the lifting feeling of it, the emotional appeal. It was all there, and the drawback of the paranoia and all that other shit that wasn't there. So this was by far best weed experience.
I'm proud of you, man.
So thank you.
You've come a
Good
long way, and I'm proud of you. I think if I could show you this,
Mhm.
I could show anybody this. 'Cause this guy's the Mr. Rogers of fucking 20-year-olds. Okay,
Listen,
this
but
guy
like-
does not want to do any crazy. Actually, I've heard otherwise. Actually,
Yeah, so I'm like,
somewhere
I don't know
over the
what you're
border there was a white
like,
Christmas.
I don't know what you're talking
Somewhere
about.
over the border there was a white Christmas
Yeah,
at
so
one
it's like,
point.
I don't know about that.
Which is crazy because I've never had a white Christmas. But
Interesting. You
it's-
should next time you go. Definitely go.
what I could say is this podcast showed you can connect through weed. This was a journey. It didn't start at one day.
Sure.
It was like Rome. Rome wasn't built in one
No,
day.
it wasn't.
It was over time, right? It took us 7 episodes to get this motherfucker's third eye. You know when you see Rogan's third eye? Third eye opened up today. Virginity hood. He got the fucking period. He's ready to go. The mushroom tip is just glistening in the wind, like fucking Edward Collins in Twilight when he hit his chest on the fucking on the sun and it was glistening. That's how it's going. I think this is the proudest moments I have ever been. I raised a fine son indeed, and all I gotta say is, man, like, I'm actually fucking proud because it usually doesn't end up this way. A lot of the times, what happens is the person that you're trying to teach, thinks that you're doing otherwise, and this is, I quickly want to go to this.
Sure.
This guy. I don't want to say this because
Yeah. Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the
Yeah.
girl's mom and shit
Yeah.
said some shit.
Yeah.
Dog, that was like this, okay? That was like this. It was days and days and days of hanging out with this dude.
Yeah.
And he's still, like, one of our good buddies.
Mm-hmm.
But just one day, he just stopped
Yeah.
having the third eye. And now, he's got joint problems, bro.
Yeah.
He's got joint problems.
Third
If he stick through, think about how thick he would look right now.
thick boy.
Because he's you know, he's not on the tall side of things. He'd be he would have traps. Oh my God, would he have traps?
Oh man.
All I want to say is just be true to yourself and just keep an open mind, man. Because a dimension can open up and it'd be just a experience. And all life is about is having that good fucking experience until the Reaper comes. You say goodbye. And all this shit doesn't mean dick. All right?
With that, we leave you.
We leave you proud fucking champions.
Proud and high.
Proud and high as fuck, baby. Friday night.
Saturday night.
Enjoy it. Oh, is it Saturday night?
Saturday night.
God damn it. God fucking damn it. I'll let Louis play me out. Thank y'all. Funny but foul. Thank you very much.